Hey there people, how you doing? I'm actually pretty well. In today's video, as you can see in the title, I'm not doing something I normally do. Actually, I'm making a video that maybe even becomes a mini-series. Because this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now. And I've been thinking on this for days now, and it's something that I haven't seen any other person do. At least not with the character I'm making today. And I think I can make a really interesting video to present my idea. So yeah, without any more to say, let's go with the video. Without any doubt, if there ever was a killer I've been wanting to see in Dead by Daylight, with all my heart, that was fucking Chucky. Charles Lee Ray, however you want to call him. He's basically one of my all-time favorite slasher, and one of the most popular and classic slashers of all time as well. It doesn't matter who you're talking to, they will know him. From kids, to teens, to of course, adults, who basically grew with Chucky being popular. I absolutely love Chucky, because not only he's a really funny and goofy character, but he can also be a real menace if he wants to. Or well, could be a real menace, years back at least. 'Cause at least currently talking, he's not really treated as a menace in today's media. But that's not what today's video is about. Sadly, even if we all wanted Chucky in the core game, Matthew Coty, DVD's director, said that wasn't a possibility at all. Because, well, who the fuck would want to play as Victor for a whole match? I mean, we just have to take a look at how much people play twins and we'll see that, yeah, well, nobody wants to. But Matthew Coty said fuck it, and brought one of the best killers from these 7 years of Dead by Daylight. A killer that is both really fucking fun to play as, and strong at the same time if used correctly, which isn't hard at all. It's really simple actually. It's fun to play as and against him. Me being a main killer and playing Survivor a lot, I can confirm this. I love both perspectives of this killer. And right when Chucky arrived to the fog, just like when the Demogorgon arrived to the fog, a lot of possibilities opened. And, well, the truth is, the first killer that became my first stop along with Springtrap that I absolutely need to see in Dead by Daylight was nothing more and nothing less than the Orphan. Esther Coleman, Lena Clammer, however you want to call her. But I think we all know this little manipulator who, spoiler, jumped to the minute you're seeing on a screen, pretended to be a 9-year-old child, but in reality was a 33-year-old woman with hypopituitarism and a mental disorder that made her a real dangerous deal. So whoever watched Orphan already knows what I'm talking about. By me, I have nothing else to say. I've been thinking of what could be a really cool concept for an Orphan chapter in Dead by Daylight, so yeah, let's go straight with that. So let's start with a little bit of context, her lore. Again, you have spoilers in here, so jump straight to the minute you're seeing on the screen. If you want to watch the movie, which I really recommend, but if you don't want to or already have, you can continue this part. Esther was a 9-year-old girl who resided at the Saint Mariana Orphanage for Girls. She was adopted by the Coleman family after they lost what would have been their third child, Jessica. While their 12-year-old son, Daniel Coleman, was quite reluctant to have a sister, little Max Coleman, 5-year-old girl, loved the idea. Esther was a wonderful girl, with great manners and excellent behavior. But everything would change when all of a sudden Esther's behavior would become erratic and aggressive, putting even her own family in dangerous situations and being related to any nearby accidents. Kate Coleman, the mother of the family, begins to suspect that there's something wrong with Esther, and begins to follow her steps through clues she finds in Esther's most special possession, her Bible, which came from somewhere called Sarn Institute. Kate would contact them to find more about Esther, but she would be surprised with the answer that that place was never an orphanage, but a hospital for the mentally ill. After Danny's treehouse is burned and the latter almost dies from being asphyxiated, Kate is sedated for slapping Esther, knowing that she was the cause of everything. Esther is sent home with Max and John Coleman, the father of the family. Dr. Baraba of the Zorn Institute contacts Kate in the hospital and informs her that Esther is actually Lena Klammer, a 33-year-old Estonian-born woman. She has spent the majority of her life pretending to be a little girl due to hypopituitarism, a rare hormonal disorder that delayed her physical growth and resulted in a proportional dwarfism. Lena is a violent person who has killed at least 7 people, including her most recent adoptive family. Lena takes off the ribbons around her neck and wrist that were covering scars from her attempts to escape straitjackets while she was a patient at the institution after failing to seduce her adoptive father. After taking off her disguise, Lena kills John with a knife and tries to shoot Kate as she runs home, hurting her arm. After Lena starts shooting at Max, Kate climbs through the roof and takes out Esther. But the latter doesn't die, and she chases her to the ice pond near her house, where after struggling a bit, Lena falls into the pond, and being presumed dead again, she is surrounded by a dense black fog. Nobody ever saw Lena Klammer again. The Orphan is a silent movement killer capable of deceiving survivors with her ability Perverse Pantomime. Her personal perks, Sweet Innocence, Hex Sinister Melody, and Broken Doll allow her to easily track and find her prey, get rid of obstacles in order to get what she wants, and meticulously delay the escape of her victims. Her difficulty rating, in my opinion, is moderate. Now let's go with the important part of the whole concept, which is her power and perks. The Orphan emerges in Dead by Daylight as a unique healer, whose dark past and sinister presence transform the survivor's environment into a deadly game of deception and terror. Her enigmatic origin and her connection to the horror make her an intriguing threat to the survivors in the fog. Her power is Perverse Pantomime. The Orphan deploys Perverse Pantomime, a power that allows her to reduce her terror radius to 0 while it is active. As long as Perverse Pantomime is active, your movement speed increases drastically, allowing you to move while undetected. Disturbed Innocence. By pressing Ability Button 1, you can access Disturbed Innocence. When activated, the Orphan will emit a scream that she will charge as the survivors are exposed to it. Once fully charged, the Orphan will make all survivors exposed for 1 minute, being able to knock them down with a single hit using Disturbed Innocence. During this period, Disturbed Innocence will also allow you to break pallets and walls much faster than normal. Once deactivated, Disturbed Innocence will return to its base state. Irreparable Damage. Irreparable damage allows you to switch between 3 different weapons: the hammer, kitchen knife, and John's revolver, each with a different use. The hammer is mainly used to damage generators. Using it will automatically reverse 30% of the generator, and the survivor will have to perform a challenging skill check to repair it once again. If the skill check is failed, the generator will be blocked for 20 seconds. After being used, it enters a 140 seconds cooldown. Kitchen knife is the main weapon. If a hit is landed while Perverse Pantomime is active, the survivor will suffer from the hindered status effect for 10 seconds. Once the effect is gone, the survivor will suffer from hemorrhage. John's revolver contains only 1 bullet and can be used only once per chase. You have a 25% of firing the bullet. If you fire the bullet and it hits successfully, the survivor will be on the ground with a single shot. Once hooked, The rest of the survivors will suffer from the broken status effect until the hooked survivor is rescued. Once used, it has a cooldown of 120 seconds. Now let's go with her 3 personal perks, starting with the first one, Sweet Innocence. An innocent appearance that confuses the survivors and gains their trust. Increases the duration by 3, 4 or 5 seconds each time the survivor's aura is revealed to you. Hex Sinister Melody. A dark melody slows down and torments nearby survivors. After the killer is stunned 2 times, Hex Sinister Melody is activated. Once active, survivors suffer from exhausted and exposed states until the killer hooks someone. Survivors that are not in chase face a prolonged penalty to their repair and healing speed, adding an additional layer of challenge to their escape. After a hook, Hex Sinister Melody is disabled again. And finally, with her third perk, we have Broken Doll, an aggressiveness that worries the survivors with its mere presence. After damaging a generator, when the survivors return to repair it, 3 different skill checks will appear on their screen, only one of which is correct. If the skill check is not performed correctly or is mistaken for one of the other 2, the generator will be blocked for 30 seconds and the killer will be alerted of their position. And well, with this we're finally done with my concept of the orphan for Dead by Daylight. Esther is a killer that I've been wanting to see for a long time now, and after Chucky was introduced in the fog, my expectations have grown a lot. I really think she has a lot of potential in the fog, and I think the concept I've made really fits her, not only because of the names of every perk and every phase of her power, but because of, you know, what they do in general, as I think they fit with what we've seen in the movie, with Esther's dangerous personality and the big threat the Coleman family is facing in the movie. I really recommend to watch this movie if you haven't still. I think it's one of my favorite movies of all time, easily my top 3, and I mean it's in my top 3, but I don't know if it's 1, 2 or 3, it could be one of the 3. It's a movie with a really solid script and a plot twist that nobody sees it coming. And well, Isabel Fuhrman, the main actress of the whole movie, really nails it with Esther. I think she, with the age of 10, she made an amazing job portraying the character. But I think it's a movie that it's really cool, it's really well executed, and has a plot twist that not everyone expects. So yeah, I think we are done by today. This was a really cool video to make, not gonna lie. I've been thinking of this concept for days, as I've said before, and I think it's a concept that a lot could enjoy being shared. But well, I just hope someday Esther Coleman, Lena Klammer, the Orphan could join the rest of killers in Dead by Daylight.